Vaporwave. A unique art that can give you such an aesthetic look, it makes e-girls look like the fucking matchmaker from Mulan. Can I just see one post that doesn't have any of this shit? Please? Like, fuck, man. But that's not what we're here for. So you want to learn the ways of the art. And maybe you're here because you just want to learn something for once on this god-awful platform. It's okay, because on this video you're going to learn how to make cool Vaporwave art, and maybe learn a few new things on the way. So to get started, you need a few things. A computer, whether Windows or Mac, a mouse, and Blender. Oh, Thrifty, what's Blender? I'll tell you, impatient fuck. Blender is a free 3D graphic design art platform. You're able to make literally anything, and when I mean anything, I mean anything. Oh, hell yeah. To character design, to 2D art, and maybe if you put a little bit of effort, your own game, which is something I've been thinking about. So yes, we're using the software to make Vaporwave art, you impatient piece of shit. I've been using it for some time now and I'm still learning. I was hoping on posting all the things I've learned for the past year and a half, but don't worry, there's still going to be the same content I put last time, which is that bullshit over there. That shit fucking sucks. So go ahead and download the software. If you're having trouble downloading it, just make a Steam account and you'll find the latest version on the platform as well. That's what happened to me, so that's the shit I gotta do. I'll leave the link so you guys can just click that. Okay, now that you have Blender downloaded, there should be a tab that shows up on your screen. It's going to show you the settings on Blender, and for me, my select is right click because it makes everything just easier. Once you're done with that, just tap on the side and it should disappear. So the first thing you want to do is save the project. Go over to files and go to save as. We want to do this because, you know, sometimes this shit likes to crash, so yeah, I like saving it. So give it a very memorable name, and mine's going to be this one just for now. Next thing is we don't need any of these, so this can disappear. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Now that it's all cleared, we're gonna add a plane. Now scale the absolute shit out of it. I lied, now you can just do it like a normal size. I don't know, any size, it doesn't matter depending on your perspective. Speaking on perspective, let's go ahead and add our camera. Once you add the camera, go ahead and move it towards an area that's able to see the whole plane and have a good perspective of the whole object. If you want a better solution, you can go ahead and go to the right side of the tab and you'll see this little tab right here where it gives you all the information of where the object would be. You can go ahead and copy my position of my camera if it makes you comfortable, or adjust it. So once you have that done, go ahead and select your plane. Now go to this corner and select edit mode. Once you're in edit mode, go to the little tab over here, edge, and go down to subdivide. Now go to the bottom and open up this tab called subdivide. Put it to 70. It doesn't have to be 70, but for me, on my perspective, I'm putting it 70 because I think it's the perfect thing. But you can put the number to whatever you want, depending on your perspective and depending on your liking. So yeah, it's not up to me. Now, if you click here, it's a tool that is going to select every corner of every square that we find, and it's going to make that Vaporwave look. Now, if you hold down shift and select every vertice, but not too far apart, while holding shift, try to put it in random spots, pretty spread apart, and try not to do it in front of the camera because it's going to block the view of everything you want to see. Next thing is to go up here and click this little hill thingy and go down to random. Once you click that, go to the little circle right beside the hill and click it. Make sure it's highlighted blue. Go ahead and click G and then Z. Bring it up and start scrolling on the scroll bar until you get the nice Vaporwave aesthetic look. Once you have the way you want it, just left click and everything should stay still. Try to do this method multiple times in different areas that you still haven't used. At some parts, try to make them more intense and some of them not so intense. Once that's done, back out and go to object mode. Then go over to your top right and select material preview. Once you click that, go over to this material icon and add a new material. So this is when the effects come in. Add a new material and go ahead and change the color to a nice like matte or like metallic. Kind of make it like a little shiny, but try to make it as dark as possible because we just want to have this like glowing effect. Okay, once that's done, go ahead and click this plus sign. It's going to add a new material, but it won't be visible just yet. Now click this little icon that has surface right beside it, and once you click it, go over to emission. Now remember, emission's what gives this whole glow effect for any object or project that you want to do. Emission's a great material that you're able to use to make that nice Vaporwave glowing shit. I don't know, but it's just good. So try to keep it as white just for now. Now let's go over to this little toolbar right here. It's gonna go open up all these modifiers and click the modifier and click wireframe. Should be at the bottom. Now a lot of things are gonna change, and try not to be intimidated because everything's gonna be fine. Now if you can't handle the thickness, then that's okay. You can just click this one thing right here and just put it down to the point where it's gonna be very thin, but also a little bit visible. Once that's done, you can just go and click replace original and everything should be back to normal. Now, you want that glowing effect. You want that vaporwave aesthetic vibe. You want PP go up. Well, I got the solution for you. All you gotta do is type 2. Yeah, it's just, you just type 2. That's it. And boom. I know. You want that glowing effect. What are you gonna piss your pants? Can you not wait for a goddamn... All you gotta do is go over to this little tab right here and check all these boxes. So once all the boxes are checked, go over to your material tab and highlight the material on your shader tab that has emission. And we're gonna go over to the strength and put this up. You can put it as bright as you want to the point where you're able to blind yourself, but we're not gonna do that. What you should be doing is go to your first material that you put down and start messing around with the settings until you get that shiny look. If you don't want it, you can just put it down to whatever you want. For me, I put the specular up and I put the roughness very low. So yeah. So now just go over to this world tab right here and just change the darkness because it's going to help you with the lighting of the scene and the bloom effect. But just change it to any color you want. Just make it pretty dark. For me, I'm just gonna put like a little red, kind of darkish red or purplish. And once you're done with that, we're going to add the sun. So to add the sun, go over and click add and highlight to the part where it says circle. Once you click that, it should appear underneath your whole plane. Pick it up, move it around, make sure you're able to see it, and you're gonna notice that it's not fully a circle because it's just gonna be an outline. So to fix that, go to edit mode, make sure it's highlighted. If it's not highlighted, click A and it should highlight it for you, and click F. Once that's done, get to object mode and scale it up and make it to a position where you're able to see half of the sun. So you're gonna notice that the circle isn't fully smooth. That's okay. All we gotta do is open up another modifier. Now this modifier is going to be called subdivision surface. Open that up and go to the viewport and put 3. That should be enough to make it kind of smooth. Once that's done, add a cube. This cube's going to be cutting our sun into like different pieces to make it look like a vaporwave sun, as you can see from all the fan art and all the other projects I do. There's going to be multiple of these, so try to put it above the sun and make sure it's not touching the sun just yet. Once that's done, open up this modifier called array. Array is going to multiply these cubes and put them to a certain direction without copying and pasting all these blocks. Now add another modifier called boolean, but this time don't select the block, select the circle and make sure it's set for difference. Then if you click this button over here and you select the blocks you just placed, it should be working. Now, as you can see, the blocks are still there. Don't worry, just go to the view tabs and select the block and make sure you click this little eye here for it to disappear. Now remember, once you go to the final stage of rendering, make sure to click apply to boolean so that it can actually disappear once it's finally rendered through the final stage. Okay, now, next we're gonna put a material on our sun. So once you put a material on your sun, let's put an emission shader on this one too, because we want this to glow. We'll be adding some effects and colors to the project soon. You just have to wait. So once that's done, go ahead and open up the shading tab. Now, I'm not a big fan of this shading layout and I usually make my own. So if you're interested in my layout, you can go ahead and resume the video. If you want to skip my layout and you just want to use the default one, that's totally fine. The time's going to be at the bottom of this video, so you can go ahead and click that and I'll see you there. So if you just came back from skipping my shader layout, welcome. But this is what I'm working with right now. So if yours is different, it's pretty similar. I just like how it's more visible for the things I do need and don't need, if that makes sense. But yeah, the first thing you want to do is go over and make sure that you're highlighting the plane, and anything that you highlight, the shader will appear on this side. Now make sure you go to your slot and make sure you select the emission shader slot, because that's what we're trying to work with right now. And to add new nodes, it's Shift A to add new nodes and search up color ramp. Once you search up color ramp, connect the color to the emission. Next, put a gradient texture, then a mapping node. And if it disappears, it's okay. That's the next texture you need, and it's texture coordinate, and connect the object to the vector. Half of it is gone, half of it isn't. It's because it's doing that gradient effect, but we haven't even edited it yet. So we're gonna change that right now. So go over here, and your base color can be anything you want. Me, it's going to be like a pinkish kind of color. Make sure you go to the other one and put it to white. I'm gonna put it to this color because, you know, it's both of my favorite colors, just kind of like a neon kind of thing. And in the middle, it's going to be kind of white. We don't want that, so click this plus sign, and it's going to be kind of bluish, but a little bit to the neon side. And to edit this, just go to the mapping and start moving around the location, the x-axis. I'm just going to move it to like over here. Start playing around with it until you know where colors of your positions are at. If it's not appearing on your screen, it's okay, because sometimes the nodes are pretty messed up and you're gonna have to like move around to make sure that it's in the right position where you're able to see it. Change the color of your colors and start moving it around just to see if you have anything of your liking. So if you want to copy mine, this is how mine's gonna look like. This is my final result for my grid texture if you want to copy it. Next is the sun. Now for the sun, go back to your grid shader and left click the side and drag your cursor around it to highlight everything and copy it by Control C. Go back to your sun texture and go to your emission slot and click Control V to paste it. Once that's done, just play around with the settings and see what you can get from the colors. For me, it's this, and this is what I want mine to look like, but this is the final result of how my shading nodes look like. Now for the last thing you want to do is we want to make this whole scene volumetric. Now to do that, all you have to do is add a cube in the middle and scale it up to cover the whole project. Make sure the camera's inside the cube and make sure everything that you made is inside the cube. Next thing you want to do is add another material for the cube and go over to your surface and put volume scatter. You can play around with it and see what you can get out of it. Make sure to put the density to maybe 0.1 or 0.050, because everything might disappear the first time you put it in, but just put the density very low because sometimes the shader's very thick and you won't be able to see through it. And if you want to put a little bit more into your project, just go ahead and add another shader called Musgrave Texture. Now just start playing around with it. If you want to make an animation out of it, you can just go ahead and click with the scale and right click it and put an insert key and move it around and another insert key, but that's for a different video. So now everything's pretty much done. To render it, all you have to do is to render, and that's pretty much it. But if you want it to be more high quality, just go ahead and go to this tab over here. And if you click right here, it can show you to 4K to different resolutions to give you that better quality. So yeah, that was the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you finished yours, I would love to see them. Go ahead and send it to me on my Twitter. I'd love to see what you guys made out of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I might do another one again, another project. See if I can make my room project as a new video I'm gonna make. Now remember, I'm gonna make the same content as I did last time. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like. Please subscribe, tell your friends, por favor. But yeah, okay, now fuck off.